Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order at 5:10. And can I have roll call?
Geraldine Bezekas here.
Andrea Wood present.
Lynn Pinkerton present.
Sulicio present.
Okay, so we do have a quorum.
Don's here, but he's on mute.
Ah,
Don, you need to unmute. so
Yeah, sorry, I was coughing and muted and forgot to come off. Thank you. Don Hayes present. Sorry, I said it, but obviously it was not heard. So we're good. Sorry.
okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. Number 2 is meeting business. We're together to just go through requests for transfers, municipal and reserve fund. So the first one is from the Board of Selectmen. And it's in the amount requested is for $25K. It is to be transferred from wages operational staff, and it's going to be transferred to wages other vacation BB buyback. Balance remaining in appropriation from which transferred will be $5,876.56. The amount requested to be used for the following reason: vacation buyback for former TA. Any questions?
That 25,000 just for him?
Yeah? He
I-
had
Yep.
7 weeks vacation.
Oh, I see. Wow.
I was quite surprised at this amount too. And I talked to Veronica about it, and she assured me that they went over it. It has to do with the setup of the original contract as well as the settlement. And council said this is the amount that's due.
Well, then she shouldn't have wrote it for just buyback.
Well, it's just for buyback, and it's just for buyback this year. It's not for the next year or 2 years. I can't remember how long he's,
It's 2.
how long they're gonna pay him. 2 more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was just my opinion, but it's Sue. Vacation buyback for the former TA is sufficient. I mean, that's the only person that's getting it, and it's the former TA, so it's.
If we were that far off on the budget, have we misbudgeted for next year by using the same amounts? And that extra line item that they put in for the raises? to hold?
Normally you're only allowed to buy 2 weeks of a vacation buyback. In
Hmm.
this case, because the way it was written, he got all 7 weeks.
It has to do with it. They come back and negotiate on that one. Plus they have the settlement agreement too. So
Right, And,
that's
yeah.
more than it usually would be.
exactly. But when they did the settle and the raises for next year, my understanding was that he negotiated another 3 weeks. So is there going to be another 3 weeks of vacation into next year's budget? In addition that we're buying out on that contract, or is it part of this?
Remember that list that we started about things we have to check up on?
Yep, this,
I'll add this to that.
okay, perfect. I think that's the right way to go. I think we have a lot of questions because we're taking it from a budget line that we didn't use this year, and you know, does that mean since we did next year's budget off this year that we have another line that needs to be or decreased in that?
Mhm.
Where's money coming from?
The money is coming from
From operational staff.
facilities labor, the facilities operating
Yeah.
staff.
That's the position that they didn't fill
Right,
Okay,
in facilities. So they're taking that money to use for the payoff here.
right,
Just-
which is gonna
Accountants
be
just trying to
FY
balance the budget.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good point, Dawn, and that is, we should probably all have a discussion sooner rather than later about where does the
Mhm.
settlement leave us in terms of the FY '22 budget.
yep. You know, because we'll have the settlement plus a new TA salary to deal with. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, and as that contract is written, be nice to be part of that so that we can get the input, so it doesn't have the same causes that got us into forcing raises because of the library.
yes,
Well, I don't have any problem doing it just
Hmm.
because it needs to be done. We have to balance the budget and
Right.
they promised the money, so it has to come from somewhere.
Yep.
I guess, my other concern, and you could put this on the list for later, for that other discussion is this, when we look at these transfers, they're all substantial amounts of money, and I'd like to figure out some kind of an estimate compared to what we usually get back for free cash and what this is going to do for us too. So,
Yep.
But I will make a motion that we approve the transfer request of $25,000 in the amount requested to use for vacation buyback for the former TA. Be transferred from facility wages, operations staff, and transferred to Board of Selectmen wages, other vacation buyback.
I'll
Anybody
second it.
seconding that?
who seconded?
Andrea,
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. We have to do it.
Yep.
Roll
Aye.
call. Sue Lizio, aye.
Andrea Wood, aye.
Don
Gerald?
Hayes. Oh, aye.
Geraldine hit Bazika's eye.
Lynn Pinkerton, aye. Okay, so. Who is it? Okay, that's that one. Next one is from the Board of Selectmen. Amount requested is $35,000 to be transferred from highway wages, other, which is $10,000, and health insurance town share, $25,000, to be transferred to town council professional legal services. The balance remaining in appropriation from which transferred is $6,529.87. And the other one is $5,593.40. The amount requested to be used for the following reasons: for legal services overage. Any questions?
Tell me where it's coming from again.
It's coming from highway wages, other, and health insurance town share.
That's usually our little, or hopefully our money in the bank fund. We usually have to budget that one high because we never know what the health insurance is gonna come in at, for the town share.
Yeah.
So there's $25,000 and plus the 5 left. So there's about $30,000 left in there, and they're asking for 25 of it. And that's why I bring up the concern about free cash. But
Does anybody know what our total legal services were for the year?
well, this would say that it was whatever was in the budget plus $35,000 more. They went over by 35.
Let me check. 151.
Usually that's from Labor Council.
Yeah, so in the budget was 55,000. It was already at the end of May, it was already at a deficit of 12. We had overspent it already by 12.
So this is the rest of it.
This would be the rest of it. It's another 12 since that time for about or 13 to get to the total. No, it's 35. So that's another 23,000 cents. So,
So they spent a total of 90,000 when they were budgeted for 55.
55 and 35. Yeah. Yep. So 102. Yeah. Again, getting back to that, we're nowhere close to that. So it'd be nice to see where these hours, the billing hours are going to, and if that's going to have an impact, if it's going to be similar in next year's budget.
Well, the
Including
current,
that 70.
the contract that we were under was a base fee for regular legal services.
Yep.
For general counsel, and anything on top of that for labor or litigation.
Yep.
Was on top of it. So this
Yeah.
is apparently the 35,000 overage coming from labor and litigation.
Right. Yeah, and I know we broke it out into the two numbers for next year so that we understood how much the base was and how much we had. There weren't a lot of hours, so it'd be good for us, I think, to understand the number of hours that were billed, what it was for, and if we could anticipate that it's going to be high again next year or not.
Yeah.
Well, they had
And scheduled
they had contracts this year too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They had all the union contracts. That
Right,
takes up a
yep.
lot of
So
labor.
that could be where the expenses and we may not have it next year. Yeah.
Well, the contract, we're almost into the new fiscal year. And the contract things still aren't totally resolved.
Oh,
And neither are some of the personal contracts. So
Oh, I thought the union contracts were all done. That's what they said at town meeting.
did they? Oh, well,
Yeah.
then I guess I'm wrong.
Well, you might not be, Andrea. Because I heard that something was, that they were coming back.
I
that the-
thought the fire department was still out.
Yes, somebody else was coming back too. Or didn't they come back for additional vacation for COVID or something like that too?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
Yep. But nonetheless, we have to pay it, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make the
Okay,
motion then.
Yeah,
I move that we accept that we approve the amount requested of $35,000 to pay for legal services overage coming from highway wages, other and health insurance town share and going into the town council professional legal services account.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Sue Lizio, aye.
Andrea Wood, I.
Don Hayes, aye.
Carolyn Mazeikis, aye.
Lynn Pinkerton, aye. Okay, 30. Okay, the next one is from the Board of Selectmen in the amount of 23,000. They want to transfer from, what's that, Concom wages? Which is
Conservation.
conservation
Yep,
agent,
conservation. Yeah.
8,000. And conservation wages, support staff, 15,000. To be transferred to MIS Professional Services. Balance remaining in appropriation from which transfer? $301.57 for the agent and $3,849.60 in the other one, support staff. The amount requested to be used for the following reasons: overspending in IT professional services. Do I have a discussion?
I
I think-
wonder if this has to do with, the contract with the new people. I forget the name of the company is initials, and I am very bad about remembering those. If the contract was greater or there was just more they had to do or whatever, but that's something else we should check on if it can get away from us. If this is having gotten away from us from the amounts that we agreed to because of additional services, we should be prepared for that again next year.
Right. I think that didn't they do something new to the internet, to the website?
There were a couple of main items that I remember from the discussion here. Is one, we had a lot more access points onto the internet that needed to be protected. And then the other was all the upgrades to all of the software.
Oh, you're
Thank you.
right. I'd forgotten about that.
To get us there. So I know Jim was going to have a conversation about some of the access points and that, but again, we need to have the conversation and understand, because we don't have the same conduit to that company anymore. So we need to understand where it's going to go in the future, because again, you're right, we don't want to be overspending again because we misunderstood. And again, that's the two-part component. We have the monthly maintenance fee, plus then the on-demand support. And I think we only had 20 or 30 hours, I think, budgeted for support. So we need to really, I think we need to be prepared for what may occur.
I think there's another piece to that too. If support is higher than what we expected it to be, somebody needs to maybe look at, or we could ask the question, has anybody looked at, are there any training issues that are making it
Right.
so that we're requiring more support than we should be?
Yeah, so
So,
like have a power user on site that you can escalate and try to help resolve before going to them.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
the plan, I think, originally, but I don't know if it ever happened. So,
Hmm.
yeah, another piece of discussion, $23,000.
Yep.
What would have been free cash that isn't? Would you like a motion, Madam Chair?
Yes, I would.
Okay, then I might as well not break the cycle here. I move that we approve the amount, that the finance committee approved the amount of $23,000 coming from conservation agent and support staff of the conservation committee going to MIS professional services for overages, overspending in IT professional services.
I need a second.
Second,
All right, all in favor?
Sulicio, I.
Andrea, would I?
Don Hayes, aye.
Carolyn Bezekas, aye.
Lynn Pinkerton, aye. 3. Okay, and our last one is from the Board of Selectmen. And they want $1,800. It's gonna be, oh,
This
sorry,
is from the reserve fund.
right, this is gonna be from the reserve fund. So they're asking us to approve $1,800 to be transferred to the Board of Selectmen other charges in the amount of, present balance is said appropriation is $444. The amount requested will be used for boarding up 182 Warren Road for safety purposes. This expenditure is extraordinary and are unforeseen for the following reason. The BOS, Police Department, Fire Department, Facilities Department, 6 Building Department visited several town-owned properties with buildings on them to evaluate them for safety purposes. This property presents a liability to the town and must be secured.
These are our buildings that we own?
Yes,
Yes.
Yep.
The town owns them.
they've come to us through, tax title and things like that, or they were just abandoned.
So like an abandoned house?
Yes,
Okay.
they have been around for a good long time. It's just lately, there have been some break-ins and some other things that, warrant, an action to be taken, particularly at this one house, because I guess it's in very rough shape.
I do have a question if somebody knows the answer.
So
Number 3 says present balance instead appropriation, that $444. Does that mean that that's in the Board of Selectmen other charges account, or does that mean it's in the reserve fund?
No, it means it's in their other,
yeah,
their
other
account.
charges.
So they have $444 in the other charges
Right,
account.
Right.
And
Yep.
the piece of paper that was attached is an estimate
Mhm.
for 1,800. So they want the entire 1,800 to come out of the reserve fund. I mean, I suppose it doesn't make any difference because we're at the end of the year anyway, right?
yes, and whatever the difference is will still go into free cash, so.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But yeah, it would have been a little nicer to do it just to get the extra out of that, but that's okay. Because it's
Well,
the end of the year.
Yeah, and again, with it, I read it as estimate, and we hope that it comes in at the estimate, not any other charges
Mhm.
with it.
All right, if we don't have any more discussion, I'd like a motion.
I'll make a motion, to pay the $1,800 for the sharing the building.
Second,
Uh, Who seconded?
Andrea,
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Andrea Wood, aye.
Carolyn Bezikas, aye.
Don Hayes, aye.
Sue Lizio, I.
Linda Pinkerton, aye. Okay, there's some, 1,500. Okay. That ends, the transfers that needed to be done. I just wanted to say, Sue, as far as your email on the policies, we go according to MMA. And I was at the, town hall today, and I did get an invoice for this year. So when we submit it, then, we'll be able to do things.
Okay, I had given Andrea a couple of things for whenever we have our first meeting. I'm assuming it'll be like August.
Yeah, August, September.
I prefer earlier because I don't want to lose out on any kinds of trainings that DLS or MMA are doing. But, and I think there are things that we need to talk about just to kind of plan out what we need to do and what our schedule looks like and all. So I'd rather do that in August if we could. I don't care if it's toward the end of August, but that's just my thought. I'd like to know what's in front of us, you know, and have a discussion about finance policies and some other things too.
I will, when Lori required that, it used to be that I was authorized and I could just pay the bills, but we don't have that anymore. I have to make up a form with all our names on, and we have to sign it in order to pay a bill. So I will have that ready for next year. I assume, and it would be only reasonable, that Terry is continuing with policies that Lori had put in place simply because she's only in there temporarily.
So all we'd have to do after is just anytime now, actually, because we're in July,
Mm-hmm.
is if you put that form together and leave it at the accountant's office.
No, we still have to vote and you all have to sign off on it.
Okay, so can we put that as an addition to this agenda? Because it was not known at the time we did the posting?
Yeah, but it's not in the nature of an emergency, really.
No, I know, but if something comes up that needs to be done and it's within the last 48 hours,
Yes, but the state frowns on it unless it's of an emergency nature.
okay,
and
well, I mean,
assistance.
so when do you suggest that we get together and vote on this then?
I think, well, why don't we wait at the 15th of the month? The last fiscal year is completely done. All
That's
the
right.
municipal transfers should be in, all the reserve fund transfers, everything. Maybe we would have a little after the 15th, a little bit of perspective going forward. So
Yep, that's fine.
maybe near the end of the month.
Yep, that's fine, because technically they do have a few more days to submit any more of these too.
Yeah,
Could I just suggest that if they do have more, maybe we could just tie that approval of the bill onto that agenda?
All right, I would be glad to do that. Yes,
Okay, and just get that one done.
yes.
And then plan on August for our first get together and planning session, if you will.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys. Speak up if you're disagreeing with me.
I
Well,
just, I guess, I mean, I don't care.
we have this list of things that we have found wrong, that we would like to get addressed that have caused problems this year. So, I think on how we approach those things in reality, we'll take a meeting before we ever can really work on them. So the sooner we get that into line for positive thinking, the better off we'll all be.
I agree. I agree.
Will it be a meeting where we can actually meet together? This Zoom meeting is just.
I mean, technically we can now. You just have to have it on Zoom for anybody who wants to listen in but doesn't want to attend in person.
Correct.
Well, you don't have to have it on Zoom if they don't want to attend in person. The selectmen have bought this thing called, or are buying this thing called an OWL, and it will allow them to participate.
You still need the
both
Zoom,
virtually in a regular meeting. It's a
Right.
marvelous thing.
but you still need the Zoom call numbers and all of that.
I'm sorry,
call
my
in.
earphones fell off and I didn't hear what you said.
Mhm.
You still need to set it up as like a Zoom call. It just does both then.
Okay, I didn't realize that, I guess.
Yeah, it's to allow that at the same time that they're broadcasting it. But it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as we do it the way that, Hartley or those guys tell us technically we have to do it. We can certainly meet. I've been vaccinated. I'm fine meeting in person.
Yep, I have my shots
You'll
too.
have to check into that, Andrea,
All right, I will.
because my understanding was that we are now back at the town hall. We're gonna have a meeting, and once it gets posted, anybody can join.
Yes, but they don't have to come to the meeting. They can join electronically the same way as they have. Because they may not be vaccinated or they may
Mhm.
have compromised system and can't come in. It still has to be an open meeting where anybody could attend.
Well, they should be open meetings anyway.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is if you say, well, we're meeting, if you come, you're there. If not, tough, you can't do that. You have to have another way for people to participate.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Okay.
I don't think we have a lot to deal with this next coming year. I'm not sure that we should wait until September. I think we could meet at the end of July or beginning of August. I mean, we've got a lot on our plate the next couple.
Yeah, that's my concern too, but I don't know what you guys are doing for vacations and stuff, Is anybody going away for the rest of the summer here?
I may walk to the rear of my yard.
No, I'll be out the end of July.
I'm out the first week in August, but then I'm back. I'm only gone for 4 days.
Why don't we say the second week of August?
Sounds good to me.
Thursday?
Sure.
That's our normal time.
Yep.
What's the date, Andrea?
I don't know.
I got 12. The first Thursday in August is 5, then 12.
So 8,
Wait a minute.
John.
12, 21. And what time do you guys usually meet?
We usually meet at 5.
5, 6
Yeah.
early.
Well, you can surprise me, all right?
Okay.
Well, what's the best for everybody? Might as well ask now.
I can be, I'm pretty, I can be there at 5. It doesn't make any difference to me. I mean, it's up to
Yeah,
you.
Actually, now we can meet even earlier if you wish.
Right,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
I'm good with early.
I'm good with early.
Well, I'm good with early, except master plan meets at 8:35 in the morning, and that's too early.
Ah,
Early.
that's why you need the alarm clock.
Yep.
Do you want to
Yeah.
say, like around 4? Is 4 good for everybody?
4 would be great.
either that, well,
I think I can
How
get
about-
that.
can you get there, Dawn, at that time?
Yeah, retirement is great. And, I'll just
Oh,
have to
there
get
you
off the,
go.
I'll just have to get off the beach a little earlier.
There you go.
There you go. So, I don't know, even 3 o'clock.
It makes no difference to me. I am free as a bird.
Well, why don't you
Okay,
decide the time after and,
Hmm.
and meanwhile, I mean, I already sent a couple things to Andrea. I don't know if there are other items that anybody else
Hmm.
wants to send so that we make sure we've got all of our things that we want to be able to talk about.
Well, we already had a list.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
she meant she has
Yeah.
other agenda things too. And it's always been open that if anybody had anything they wanted to address, just to let me know.
Yeah, and then you just put it
Mhm.
on the agenda. I think
Yeah.
that works
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So, we're talking August 12th?
Right.
Okay. And then, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock?
Yep.
3 would be great, I think, but that's up to every,
And then if it goes long, I mean, if it's an hour and a half or 2 hour meeting, you're still done
Right.
by 5 and,
exactly. So
Yeah,
um,
right.
how
I
about
think 3 is a good time.
Yeah.
Retirement is a good thing,
thing?
especially when you
Um,
want to go to bed at 9 o'clock.
That's true, Sue.
But it's not good if you have to be up by 8:35 in the morning.
the next day, yeah.
Well, Andrea, if we meet at 3, we'll be done by 7. You can go right to bed when you get home.
yeah.
I'll even drive you.
All right. So we'll set a meeting for August 12th at 3 p.m.
Okay,
Sounds good.
good.
Thank you, guys.
Wait.
Oh,
What?
Wait,
Well, it depends if we have to have a virtual thing.
Oh, yep.
I think the only room that's easily virtually capable is the selectman's office. And we'll have to be sure that they don't have, a negotiation or a department meeting or
Hmm.
something going on at that time.
okay.
Okay, so can you check that out?
Oh, I will, yes.
Okay,
All right. Very good. Okay, guys, that's great.
thank you.
And this is partly, please notify TCAM and they'll notify me about your next meeting.
Okay,
Have a nice
Yeah.
part of the summer,
Okay.
guys.
You too.
I will take these transfers and I'll drop them off at the town hall tomorrow.
No, just put them in the accountant's mailbox. Tonight I will send her a memo telling her they're there.
Right, that's what I was gonna do.
Well, you said drop off at town hall. I'm sorry. I thought maybe you were gonna drop them off with somebody other than the accountant's mailbox. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, so then, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
At what time?
Good. It is, hold on one sec.
5:50.
5:50.
5:50.
Second.
Okay,
All
goodbye.
right.
No, all those in
Oh.
favor.
Bye.
Oh,
Carol, Deacon.
aye.
John Hayes, aye.
To
Get 'em all
Elizabeth,
Wood,
aye.
aye.
Now can I go home?
Now you can go
Yes,
home.
you can.
Good, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.